They ask this question more often than they admit, in private conversations, in the quiet corners of the internet, and sometimes only inside their own heads. The question itself feels simple, almost childish, but the emotions behind it are anything but. Does size really matter? It sounds like a question about the body, but it's really a question about identity, about worth, about fear, about being enough. It's a question that comes from the most human of places, the desire to be desired. We live in a world obsessed with comparison. Every image, every conversation about pleasure tries to reduce intimacy to numbers, positions, and statistics, as if connection could be measured or performed. But the truth is far less visible and far more powerful. Desire doesn't live in the body, it begins in the mind. And what truly connects two people isn't the anatomy of pleasure, it's the chemistry of safety. When a woman remembers someone who moved her deeply, she doesn't recall the specifics of touch. She remembers the atmosphere, the tone of his voice when he said her name, the rhythm of his breath against hers, the way her body stopped performing and started feeling. Pleasure, for most women, isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's not about what happens to her body, it's about what happens inside her mind. Because the female body is deeply connected to emotion. The nervous system, the heartbeat, the flow of hormones, they all respond not just to touch, but to trust. If she doesn't feel emotionally safe, her body cannot relax enough to receive pleasure fully. That's why so many encounters feel incomplete. People chase sensation without realizing that the real key to pleasure is psychological. It's not found in what you do, it's found in how you make someone feel. A woman feels desire not when someone tries to impress her, but when someone makes her feel seen. Not when she's compared, but when she's understood without words. That's the moment her body exhales. That's the moment her tone softens, her breath deepens, her eyes linger. And no, it has nothing to do with size. It has everything to do with presence. Because presence is the language of connection. It's the way one soul says to another, "You're safe here." And from that safety comes everything else. Some men believe pleasure is a performance, a task to accomplish, a standard to reach. But the women who remember them remember something different. They remember energy. They remember awareness. They remember how it felt to be understood in silence. Real intimacy isn't about power. It's about attunement. It's a dance between two nervous systems finding rhythm, curiosity, and surrender. When he slows down, when he listens, when he pays attention to her breathing, he begins to speak the language of the body without words. And that's when the illusion of performance dissolves. Pleasure stops being mechanical and becomes emotional. It stops being about control and becomes about connection. Because the truth is, the body only opens when the mind feels seen and the heart feels safe. That's the hidden secret most people miss. Pleasure isn't physical first, it's psychological. And when two people trust each other enough to explore that truth, they stop measuring and start feeling. So does size really matter? Only to those who don't yet understand the depth of connection. What matters is energy. What matters is rhythm. What matters is emotional sensitivity. The awareness that pleasure is not something you take, but something you build, moment by moment, together. When a woman feels that kind of energy, slow, attuned, gentle, her entire being responds. Her breath, her posture, her silence, they all align. It's no longer about technique or timing, but about being present enough to notice what's really happening. In the end, it's not size that creates pleasure, it's empathy, it's patience, it's curiosity, it's the courage to be seen and the grace to see someone else fully. Because the body is only a vessel. The real connection happens in the spaces between words, in the glances that linger, and in the quiet rhythm that only two souls can hear. So no, size doesn't matter the way people think it does. What matters is presence, and presence is everything. Tell me, what do you think truly matters more, size or connection? If this spoke to you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more truths about the feminine mind and the unseen side of desire.